what's up, what's up? Got my yak in a paper cup. That empty glass don't mean much. It's better with a big, go fill it up. Welcome to my packed house. It's that time to act out. Everybody's passed out. Universal blackout.
So John, when I stopped by your booth, you always have these great stories about world currency. You actually didn't have this note in your booth on display. You had to pull this out of the private reserves. This is such a special note. What is it?
It's not for sale.
Not for sale.
Not today. Not today. Back in the late 50s, early 60s, the Vietnamese government was a democracy, and they wanted to create something beautiful. So they commissioned the Thomas de la Rue manufacturing group to create a note with 3 specific criterias. The first criteria was wisdom. The second was religion. And the third was beauty. It took many months and many trial runs to come up with a prototype. The first version was half the size of the finished product. The second version was a spin-off of the first version. And eventually, it got to the point where there was a presentation of what we call a proof. And a proof is something that does exist today. This note does exist in 2 variations, both proof and specimen, and I'll explain what the difference is. This note is the finished product, it's the specimen, and it features the 3 criteria that was commissioned by the government at the time. You have the wisdom of a senior citizen, you have the faith of the temple, and when you turn it around on the back, you have the beauty of the country and of course their culture, the female, treasured and an iconic stature. The difference between the specimen and the proof are 2 things. The proof came before the specimen, which is the finished product, and the proof does not have the hologram and it doesn't have the serial number. Those are the only 2 variations that separate the proof and the specimen. There are approximately only a half a dozen proofs known to exist today and only about a dozen specimens as a result of the Vietnamese diplomat bringing the notes over to the US and a few of them that maybe got smuggled in from the central banks in Vietnam. Today, in my opinion, and I've seen many beautiful notes, some on display, but clearly this is probably the holy grail of world paper money.
And this is the finest known example.
And that's the second thing. According to the population reports, none equal this grade. It is isolated as the finest of the few that are known to have survived, and certainly in this quality, it's unsurpassed.